Have you ever seen one of those people in a sunny day? They choose a table that has one shady seat, or a person that cuts a cake like this, a triangle piece right in the middle, robbing both symmetry and peace from the world. And now that's not just rudeness. That's a quiet little crime against humanity. And today, class, we're talking about them. The micro evil, the small-time villains in designer shoes. So why would anyone act like this? Because the world doesn't just breed monsters. It breeds accountants of selfishness. These people don't kick puppies. They just let the door slowly close when you're 2 steps behind. Micro evil says they care about you when asked, but actually what they don't. Because deep down, they believe they matter more than you, but they're smart enough not to say it out loud. So their reflexes do the talking. Their subconscious makes the choices. And what comes out? 1,000 tiny acts of quiet selfishness, dressed up as normal. All those actions saying, I matter more than you, but with plausible deniability. They learned early that it's safer to manipulate than to maul. That sugar-coated sabotage buys you more friends than open warfare. And the worst part? Society rewards it. Micro-evils get promotions. They smile in family photos. They host brunch. Now, before we get too judgy, let me ask, have you ever forgotten to reply to a message because deep down you wanted to punish someone with silence? Ever hoped your roommate wouldn't notice you used the last bit of their oat milk and then ghosted the grocery run? Yeah, we all got a shadow, baby. Not all of us are chopping cake triangles, but many of us are just one passive-aggressive post away from it. Micro-evil isn't a personality type. It's a tendency, and it grows like mold when you're not looking. It can infect everyone. Here's the scary part. Micro-evil might actually be more dangerous than the real deal. Why? Because we see big evil coming. Obvious evil is loud, flashy, and has a villain soundtrack. But micro-evil? It whispers, it lingers, it spreads. A dictator destroys countries, but 1,000 micro-evils? They destroy trust, teams, friendships, marriages, because they're everywhere. And unlike the big bads, you don't even notice the tiny paper cuts until you're bleeding out emotionally on your kitchen floor over a mismatched sock. This isn't cartoon villainy. It's a slow erosion of kindness. Here's the kicker. If you're a terrible person, like capital T terrible, people will eventually call you out. They'll block you, fire you, write songs about you. But if you're micro-evil, you might float for years thinking you're a nice person, while quietly draining the souls of everyone around you. You won't lose friends overnight, just their warmth. You won't be yelled at, just quietly excluded. And you'll never know why, so if you've ever ended a sentence with, I was just being honest, or they're too sensitive, buddy, it's time to look in the mirror, not the one in your hallway, the one in your soul. Let's get one thing straight, because big evil gets headlines. Small evil gets invitations, it gets weddings, promotions, a seat at the table. Micro evil hides in the polite, the charming, the just trying to help. It's harder to call out, harder to prove, and way more likely to sneak into your home. You can't punch what you don't see, and by the time you do, it's already rearranged the furniture in your emotional living room. That's why it matters. The devil doesn't always wear Prada. Sometimes he brings hummus to the party and critiques your life decisions under the guise of concern. So here's your homework. Next time you cut a cake, check your angle. Next time you choose a chair, look at the shade. Because these small choices, they're not always just about cake or sunlight. They're about who you believe deserves comfort, who gets the better piece. They're the cracks where the unconscious leaks out, quiet, unnoticed. Just be mindful of the little things, the tiny habits, the offhand remarks, the everyday selfishness, or else they'll shape you into someone you never meant to become. As Carl Jung said, Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. So wake up, look closer. It's not always fate. Sometimes it's just bad manners, hiding in your blind spot.